Hi, thank you for joining me on Jane Reads. My name is Jeanette. So, I am deciding today my May TBR. I had a good reading month in April. I read all the books on my TBR plus an extra book. So, I read a total of 9 books in the month of April. So, I don't have any books that need to be carried over from my April TBR into my May TBR, which is amazing. So, I've also decided for the month of May, I am going to be participating in the spring Christian fiction readathon that is being hosted by Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails. She has come up with 5 spring related prompts to choose books from. So I have my computer open so that I can see my TBR list and for spinning the wheel. So there might be a little bit of reflection, but glasses. So the prompts for that Katie has come up with is number 1, flowers on the cover. Number 2 is with new blooms comes new authors. So read a new to you author. Number 3 is April showers brings May murders. Read a mystery or a thriller. Number 4 is spring cleaning. Read a book that has been on your TBR the longest or at least 6 months. Number 5 is Spring Fever. Read a romance or a book with a minor romantic plot. So for those 5 prompts, I looked at my list and I found this one, which is Reconstructing Natalie by Laura Jensen Walker. There are flowers on the cover. It has been on my TBR the longest, and it is a romance. So to determine which book's been on my TBR the longest, I went through my list. And I have purchase dates for majority of my books. I've been keeping a kind of a purchase log since 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. And this book doesn't have a date on it in that log, which means it has been on there a long time. So this book fit 3 of the prompts. So that was a fairly obvious choice. Then the next book I decided to pick up was The Curse of Misty Wayfair by Jamie Jo Wright. You just saw this one in my recent book haul. I have never read anything by Jamie Jo Wright, so that fit the prompt of a new to me author. And it is a mystery. So it is a suspense, I guess, is considered as. So that fits. So this will be book number 2 that I will be reading. So now I spin the wheel 3 times each month to see kind of where my TBR is going to start. So let's spin and see what I come up with. Okay, so I got newest on my TBR. So since I filmed the book haul, I have added a few books to my TBR. So let me grab those. Now, I've picked up 4 books since I did that book haul, but not one of these books cost me any money. They were all free to me, so that's awesome. So, the first book I got was No Ocean Too Wide by Kari Tarnasky. Now, I've talked about this book before. It is one of my favorite books from 2019, and I just recently picked up the sequel to this book, so it's kind of been on my list to read. I had an advanced reader's copy of it when I read it, so I didn't physically have a copy. I came home from work one day and had a package, and my husband said, "Okay, what did you order now?" And I'm like, "I didn't order anything. At least I don't think I did." So I opened it up and it had a sweet little note. Did I keep the note? Yes. I had a sweet little note in it and it just said, "Just because you're the best." It was like, so my BFF sent me this. She knew I just picked up the other one and that I really was looking for this one. So, oh, she's awesome. I was so excited that night. Then my mom just finished reading these 2, Over My Dead Body and Another Day, Another Dolly. And I already own book 1 in Kindle format, which is A Fool and His Monet by Sandra Orchard. So she just recently gave me these to read. because she just finished reading them and enjoyed them. And then on my Facebook, I joined a group for our town about reading. And so about once a week, somebody goes around and just takes pictures of kind of what books are in the little free libraries. And so I don't get out walking a lot to visit a lot of the free libraries. So I really enjoy kind of pulling up that Facebook post and looking at the pictures and see what's in each library. And I saw this book was in, like, from the spine, it was in one of the libraries. And it's like one of those libraries that, like, because at the bottom of the picture it says where it is. And I'm like, I drive on that street like every single day to go to work and to come home from work. And I don't remember ever seeing a little free library there. And I'm like, okay, but it's a busy street. It's not one you can just pull over and park and jump out into the library. I'd have to find somewhere to park and walk down to it. So I'm like, So me and my husband were talking and I'm like, hey, I have an errand for you. And he's like, yeah, whatever. So, but I came home from work the next day and he stopped and picked it up from the little free library. Now, it had been pouring rain. Otherwise, when I went to work, I probably would have tried to find a parking spot and somewhere to walk, but it was pouring rain. No. So because it was raining, it's a little wet, a little damaged. So we've had it sitting kind of open to try to dry out the back a little bit. So I'm so excited though. I remember watching Lloyd Robertson on the news with my dad, and it's kind of one of those nostalgic memories for me. So when I knew he had a book coming out, I wanted to get it, but I mean, this one was released in 2012. So it's been on my list for a while, but I didn't have it. So those are the 4 newest books that are on my TBR. So which book do I want to read to fit this prompt? It's obvious. It's going to be this one because I've been dying to read it. I was kind of like, okay, if I get through my April TBR before the end of April, I'm going to pick up this book and read it. But now I don't have to because it's going to be the next book on my TBR anyways. So because this one is going to be the next one on my TBR, that means I will also add this one to my TBR, which is book number 2, No Journey Too Far, which follows this one. Because this one kind of ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger. So I've read this one, I haven't read this one. So I'm excited. Okay, so spin number 2. So we got newest on my TBR again. Oh, my wheel is liking me today. Okay, so we're back to these 3. Which one do I want to do a series? This is a 3-book series, mystery. Sorry. Or do I want to do the autobiography or the memoir? So I am doing a romance, a mystery, and historical fiction. So because I already have a mystery on my list, I'm going to do the biography. Plus, I'm really interested in this one. Okay, so this is the next one I will read. Now, we'll spin the wheel for the 3rd time and see what happens. Okay, so we got oldest on the TBR. Now, I've already said this one was the oldest on my TBR. So do I use this one or do I pick up a different one to fill the prompt? What do I do? Okay, so let's look at my TBR list, my spreadsheet, and see what are the oldest prompts or the oldest books. Okay, so I have 3 John Grisham books from 2012. So I have 3 John Grisham books from 2012. Which one do I want to read? Okay, so we're going to read The Innocent Man by John Grisham. So John Grisham is an author that, like, kind of one of the first adult authors I remember reading as an adult. And he was one, like, I read majority of his books back in the day. I've not read a lot of his newer ones, but I probably have at least 25 of his books on my shelf. I've like, my shelf is, you can't see it, it's over there, but my shelf is completely full. So I have not read this one. So this is going to be the next one I'm reading. Now, that is 6 books, and they are all physical books. I don't have one Kindle book on my list. We can't have that. I need at least one Kindle book. What am I going to read at night otherwise? So, I'm not going to spin the wheel. I am going to just randomly choose a Kindle book I want to read next. So I'm going to look at my TBR bingo board and see what books do I have on Kindle on here that I might want to read next. So the options are The Wedding Dress, 5 Days in Sky, Nichols, Things I Never Told You, Kept, or Canteen Dreams. So if I read The Wedding Dress, that would finish this line. That is the only one that will finish a line. So that is the one I'm going to read. So I will read The Wedding Dress by Rachel Hawk on my Kindle so that I have something to read in bed at night. For a few nights anyways. It just means I need to change my kind of preferred reading location, because all my physical books, if I read at night, I'm going to have to read on the couch before while my husband's in bed. But that's okay. I also want to get through some of my physical books, so I mean, it works, right? So the plan is I am going to read Reconstructing Natalie for the Christian Fiction Readathon, and The Curse of Misty Wayfair for that readathon as well. Then I'm going to read the newest books on my TBR, which is No Ocean Too Wide by Kari Tarnasky, and then the sequel, No Journey Too Far, and then the memoir by Lloyd Robertson, and then I'm going to read one of the oldest on my TBR, which is The Innocent Man by John Grisham. And then just kind of, because I need something on my Kindle, and it's kind of a comfort read and a reread, so The Wedding Dress by Rachel Hawk. So those are the 7 books that are on my TBR for the month of May. Will the month of May be as good of a reading month as April? We will find out. Thank you for joining me today. Have a good day.